Hospitals in South Korea are on a severe level alert for the very first time. Thousands of doctors have quit their jobs over medical reforms announced by the government. And as a result, several surgeries are cancelled, treatments delayed, and medical operations have been disrupted. The government has issued an ultimatum to the protesters to return to work. Let's tell you why there is such a high resentment among South Korean doctors. But first, let's tell you how big is this strike. More than 10,000 junior doctors, that is around 80% of the trainee workforce in the entirety of South Korea, they have all resigned. Doctors are considered essential workers in South Korea, like any other country, and are restricted by law from striking work. The government has repeatedly claimed that the mass resignations as unlawful. It has issued an ultimatum to the striking young doctors, giving them a 4-day window to return to work. In the event of non-compliance, the doctors face indictments and suspensions over their medical licenses. So what exactly are these reforms the doctors are objecting to? Now, in the view of the low number of doctors in South Korea and the country's rapidly aging society, the government proposed several reforms in one of the largest shake-ups to the country's medical training system. Under the plan, universities will admit 2,000 more medical students from the next academic year. The government says it aims to add up to 10,000 doctors by 2035. But doctors say that higher medical school admissions will only lower the overall medical education level in South Korea and will not solve the resource imbalance. They fear an increase in competition could lead to lower income and overtreatment. Doctors have pledged to continue protesting, and they argue that South Korea's population will continue to shrink due to the low birth rate. So there will be no shortage of doctors. But the decline in birth rate is alarming. South Korea has the lowest fertility rate in the entire world. In 2020, the number of deaths had already exceeded the number of births. It's also important to mention here that South Korea's doctor-to-patient ratio is among the lowest in the developed world, particularly in pediatrics and emergency departments and rural areas. So where does the public opinion stand on the issue? The protests have failed to generate public support, with a survey suggesting that about 75% of South Koreans support the plan spearheaded by President Yoon Suk Yeol. In fact, ahead of the polls for the first time in 8 months, Yoon's approval rating surpassed 40%. Doctors, meanwhile, say that the government's plan is all but a tactic aimed to win voters in the April general elections.
자, 천천히 이동하도록 하겠습니다.